Hello, what you're going to see is incoming testing on a Fanuc motor. This is an old style Fanuc motor with an encoder that has an output of a generic incremental encoder on the Mitchell software. First thing I'm going to do incoming is to meg the motor to make sure that the stator windings are good. So I've got my megger hooked on A phase and ground. I'm going to meg at 500 volts DC. I've got a meg reading of 5.9 gigaohms, so the stator winding is good. I'm going to test next the number of poles on this motor, so I can short any of the three phases together. I happen to be shorting B and C phase together, and I'm going to count the number of poles shorting these two phases together. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is an 8-pole motor. Stator meg's good. I'm going to make a note on my data sheet, number of motor poles. I have this motor hooked up to the Mitchell software. And using the Mitchell software, I've got my 17-pin connector plugged in for data, and I'm going to check to see if I can get a signal. So the signal I'm getting is commutation pulses. I've got H1, H2, H3, and H4 going high and low. Those are the commutation pulses. I've also got mechanical and electrical angles. This happens to be a 1-speed encoder, so I see that I can set my mechanical angle at 0, and I can rotate the shaft. This is actually a clockwise rotation, so I can rotate the shaft 360 degrees clockwise for one mechanical revolution, and it's also giving me one electrical revolution. So my encoder is working and counting. I'm also going to perform a count test using the Mitchell hookup. So I'm going to rotate the shaft and I'm going to look for errors. This is a 6,000 count encoder. And actually, of course, I'm coming up with all errors, but I'm going to restart that test, and I'm going to tell the encoder that it has 6,000 counts. Sorry, this is an 8,000 count encoder. So let's try it again. I'm going to reset this for 8,000 counts. So now I've got my counts set to 8,000. I'm going to go back to my test. Rotate the shaft clockwise. And now I get 8,000, 16,000, 24,000, 32,000. All with no errors. So let's see if we can see on the screen the count test showing 8,000 counts with no errors. Also, as long as we're here, we'll get a close-up of the data screen where you can see the commutation H1, H2, H3, H4 for this particular motor, the mechanical and electrical angle, so now you can see the mechanical and the electrical angle just happens to be at 72. That's just where I have the shaft, a 72-degree angle. And since this is a 1-speed encoder, my electrical angle and my mechanical angle are the same.